Hey everybody, good to see you again. Welcome back. This is our workshop rotation Sunday school lesson for Sunday, September 27th, and we are continuing with our story on Abraham and Sarah. This would be lesson 2 for Abraham and Sarah. Last week you got to see the puppets tell the story, and that was great, and Reverend Sander did quite a song for you, so that was good. So this week, we're going to move on a little more with the story and actually get to my favorite part of the story. But I'll tell you about that coming up. First off, did you get some mail from me? I sent you like a little brown package, and inside the package was a bunch of stuff on stars and Abraham and Sarah. I hope you got it. If you have it, now would be a good time to have it with you. And you can pause the video if you need to while you get it. Or if you've already worked it out, that's fine. Whatever you've done. And if you didn't receive it, let me know, all right? So I can send you some more. And I have extras if something happens. You know, Miss Cheryl messes up the crafts all the time. So I always have to go take number 2, take number 3. So anyhow, I've got some extras here with me at church. So let's see. First though, I heard from Barrett Strickland. Remember last month's story on Noah? And I asked some of you if you could do like a cartoon or comic strip on Noah and the ark and the animals and the family. Or you could maybe do an advertisement, like an ad of what Noah would need. You know, someone said that we need umbrellas. I'm not sure they had umbrellas back then, but that's cool. And someone sent me a cute picture with penguins, and they needed a bunch of penguins. Well, Barrett did a video comic for us, so we're going to see that right now. This is Barrett Strickland on Noah and gas.
Okay, I did the boat. Now I just need some gas. Let me get gas. I am now here to get some gas for my boat. What? It is closed? Oh no! Let me look at the clock. Oh no, the world is going to flood in 15 minutes. I need to get to the ark. I need some water. Let me go get some. Wait, the water is gas? Let me put some in. I made it just in time. Now I just need to wait. Thanks, God.
Thank you, Barrett. That was great. I really appreciate that. Have you ever run out of gas before? I have. Driving, very embarrassing. You know, you're just driving along and then the car gets slower and slower and you have to pull over and you hope there's room to pull over. And I had to call my son who had to come and anyhow. Very embarrassing. Very embarrassing. So, okay. Anyhow, moving on. Let's get to our story this week. Imagine this, if you will. All right, imagine this. God tells your parents that you are going to need to move far, far away. Far away from your family, far away from your friends. You're all just going to move. All right? And you're going to start someplace new, and it'll be wonderful, but it's going to be far, far away. And oh, by the way, you have to travel by foot, and you have to sleep in a tent. And it's going to take a while to get there, like a long while. What would you think about that? I don't think I'd be crazy about it. I like tents. Do you like tents when it rains? Ooh, no. I don't know. But that's what God asks of a man named Abram. And we're going to continue with his story today, okay? So, remember this is about Abram and Sarai at this point. Remember their names are going to change as the Bible story goes on. Abram is 75 years old when this happens. And it's written in the Bible, in the first book of the Bible, in Genesis. Okay, after all the Noah story is. And we're going to read today from the Spark Story Bible. So let's begin about Abram. And this is called Abram's Call. Abram's Call. One day, God said to a man named Abram, "It's time for you to leave your home and family and go to a new land. In this new land, I will give you many things and make sure people know about you. I will be kind to those who are kind to you. To the ones who are unkind, I will be unkind. Because of you, all the families on earth will be blessed." Abram was 75 years old and had a long white beard, but he didn't let age stop him. On his trip, Abram took his wife Sarai and his nephew Lot. They walked the many miles leading to the new land. It was a hot and dusty trip, but Abram knew that where God was leading them would be a beautiful place. The trip was long and hard because they carried all their pots and pans, dishes, and clothes with them. They had their helpers with them, but it was still a lot of work. "Phew! I'm so hot," said Sarai as her face grew red. "I'm getting kind of tired," sighed Abram. "My feet hurt," groaned Lot. "Mine would too." When they finally got to the land of Canaan, Abram stopped by a tall and shady oak tree. It felt good to get out of the blazing sun. God came to him there in the cool shade and said, "I have a surprise for you. I promise to give this land to your family forever." Abram and Sarai and Lot were so thankful to God for this wonderful gift. They jumped up and down and danced and hugged each other and shouted, "Hooray!" To show God how grateful they were, Abram decided to build 2 altars to honor God. He would build one altar out of a large, smooth stones by the tree, and the other altar out of pieces of wood by his tent in the hills. And so that is the first part of the story. Our next part of the story is my favorite part. And our friend Ollie is going to read that for us. Take it away, Ollie.
God's promises to Abram. God came to Abram and made a promise. "Abram, you are very special to me. I will take care of you and give you lots of children and grandchildren and great-great-grandchildren. But Abram asked God many times, "Are you sure? I don't have any children yet." Okay. God thought Abram needed something more to help him understand. So God took Abram outside and showed him the night sky. "Your family will include as many people as there are stars in the sky." God told Abram stared up at all those stars. He couldn't begin to count all of those twinkling light stars. Stars and stars all around him. Abram looked up at the stars and saw God at work. Abram believed God. "Now for another promise," God said to Abram. "You will need a place for your huge family to live. I will give you this land as I promised." "Are you sure, God?" Abram asked again. God made a covenant with Abram. It promised that Abram would become a father and a grandfather and a great-grandfather and a great-great-grandfather, and all Abram's many sons, daughters, grandsons, and granddaughters would live with God in the land on which Abram stood.
Thank you, Ollie. That was great. I love that part of the story. I just like thinking about God and Abram out there under the stars, all those stars lighting up the night sky, which got me to thinking about stars. What are stars made of? Are they all the same size? Are they all the same distance away, or is there one that's closest to us? Are they different colors, or are they all white? And do they make any kind of formations? I think it's time for a science lesson, don't you? All right. Here from YouTube Kids is Mazaka Desaka presents Stars.
Mizaka Dizaka.
What are stars and constellations? Hi guys. Look what a starry sky we've got today. Have you ever wondered what the stars are? They seem to be small, cold, and bright dots. But in fact, they are huge, hot balls. Stars are shining because of the constant burning process that's going on inside of them. As a result of this burning, an enormous amount of light and heat is thrown into space. We see stars as tiny dots only because they are so far away from us. In order to get to even the closest star, not counting the sun, we would have to fly for more than 100,000 years. Stars differ in size, brightness, and color. Also, the stars can vary in temperature. Blue stars seem to be cold, but in fact they are the hottest ones, with a temperature of more than 30,000 degrees Celsius. White stars are a little cooler. Their temperature is more than 7,000 degrees. Yellow stars have a temperature of 5,000 to 6,000 degrees. Orange stars more than 3,500 degrees. Finally, the coldest stars are the red ones. Their temperature is more than 2,000 degrees. Do you know which star is closest to Earth? Of course, this is our Sun. The Sun is a yellow star, and its temperature is about 6,000 degrees. And this is how the Sun looks in comparison to some other larger stars. Sirius, Vega, Pollux, Arcturus, Aldebaran, Rigel, Antares, Betelgeuse. In ancient times, while observing stars, people grouped them into patterns called constellations. These constellations form a star map. Since the Earth rotates around its axis, the stars seem to move across the sky. It is actually the Earth which is moving. See? Only one star remains in its place all the time. This is the Polaris, or North Star. It is located directly above the North Pole. Earth's axis points directly toward the Polaris. Therefore, the Polaris indicates the direction due north. Let's locate the North Star in some constellations. The Big Dipper is a part of the constellation of Great Bear. Usually you can easily find it in the sky. If you connect the two extreme stars of the Big Dipper and then continue this line up to a bright star, you will find the Polaris. It's right on the edge of the handle of the Little Dipper, part of the Little Bear constellation. You can try to find some other constellations in the sky. This is Orion. It is easily recognizable by its belt made up of 3 stars. Cassiopeia. It looks like a letter W. Look, a shooting star! Of course, this is not actually a star, but a meteor. A meteor is a small fragment of an asteroid or comet that burns in the Earth's atmosphere. Real stars, of course, cannot fall down. Well, we've seen lots of interesting things in the night sky, and now it's time to say goodbye. See you later!
That was cool. I liked learning about stars. That was neat. Well, let's see. Now the story is going to go on and on. There's not going to be a lot more that happens to Abraham and Sarah. God will visit again and promise them a child of their own. They never had a child of their own, but they're really old, but they're still going to get to have a child of their own, and He will keep that promise, His covenant with them. The child's name will be Isaac, which means laughter. And as you recall in the story that the puppets told us, Sarah laughed a little bit at God when she heard that she was going to have a son, because child. She was just so shocked by that because she was so much older. But she does have a son. And as time passes, all those grandchildren and great-grandchildren and great-great-grandchildren that Ollie told us about, all the stars in the sky, will be part of their family. And I like that part of the story. So let's get to the package that I sent you, okay? All right, I sent you some stuff. Okay, let me see what I did. Okay, I sent you this. This is the story of Abram. It's one of those little workbooks, that you can color, and there's some puzzles and, word puzzles and things like that. So I sent that for you. Hope you enjoy. Then I sent you this because I just liked it, okay? I sent you a foam craft. So you should get something like this and this in the mail. And you have to punch all the stars out, okay? I just took a pencil and punched it out, okay? And then put it away. And then you put the little piece together, and it looks like this. Isn't that pretty? It says, "Look now toward heaven," Genesis 15:5. And there's all the stars. It's Abram looking up. And this is cool. You put this neat little yellow plastic sheet behind, and they have little stickers for you to hold the sheet down, and a little string rope here for you to tie. And so that's a little remembrance for you about our story that we're studying this month. Okay? Sent that to you. What else did I send? Oh, well, Miss Cheryl and scratch art. I do like it. And so I sent you some stars. You might have got one or two, I'm not sure. Okay, these little black stars. And then you got a little scraper like this. Be careful with that now. It's kind of got a point there, okay? And it's got 2 ends. I think you could use both ends. All right? And you just start scratching away and see what colors will come up. Miss Cheryl likes to do this. But I will say this. It is messy. So I apologize to your parents right now, but you're going to have a bunch of black gooky stuff. But you just keep going all around it and see what all the colors come up, okay? And that is to remind you, maybe you could hang that in your room or at your desk, and that's to remind you of our story about Abraham and Sarah and the promise, the covenant that God makes with them. So there's that. And then, I'm going to get this dusty stuff off here. I sent you a keychain, all right? Now, this is the bag that they came in when I got them, all right? And you see, you get to color your own and design it your way. This person wrote their name, Tom. This person had each part of the star a different color. And this one just, did pretty colors all the way around. Made a star, very pretty. You guys are creative. I know you'll come up with something. So you would have gotten it in a little package, let me see, like this. It would come in a little package like that. And you open that up, and you have the star and this other piece of plastic star that'll be in there. Don't put them together yet, okay? Okay. And then you got a couple pieces of paper, white paper, okay? And that's where you get to create how you want your star to look. So I did mine. I made a C on mine for Cheryl. Put a little color around it. And then I colored the whole back part solid. All right? So you will get that. And then you take your pieces of paper after you colored them. Okay, color them first, both. Put them back to back. And then you put them in your little star. Okay? Like so. All right? Now here's the hard part. You need to make this star clip into this star. Now this is a little tricky, I found out, because I kept having to move the star around until it would fit just right. But sooner or later it clips in there. This one probably won't do it for me. Almost. You gotta keep going around till it just fits just right. Ah, there it did, clip. And then it clips together, okay? And you have a little keychain, all right? And I thought you could put that on your backpack or wherever you want to put it. So those are our crafts for Abraham and Sarah. So last week was puppets. Last week was puppets. I wish we could have some puppies. This week was our little arts craft and our science lesson. Next week, we're going to be doing a game. All right, and for that game, you will need basically just a piece of paper and a pencil. And we're going to do a review of Abraham and Sarah, and I'm going to have some friends with me to help me out. And we're going to ask you questions, and if the answer is true or false, you're asked to draw something certain on your piece of paper. And then at the end, we'll see what our pieces of paper look like. Okay? So that's our lesson for next week. So I hope you can join us. I've enjoyed being with you today. You know, I send my hugs and my love. Let's just take a moment now and pray. Dear God, we thank you for this time together to share your word. We thank you for the blessings you always give us. Help us to remember that you will keep your promises to us. As we each travel on our journey of faith, help us to follow you always. Amen. That's our lesson. You take care.